How big that is?
It's a big room.
你这个多少钱啊？
这个8块9块以
哇
上。对呀、
在这种小乡村实在是，所以你很多沙了啊。
对呀、
是啊。
对啊，那不能放那么多天。
你这个礼拜。
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the Night Watchman tour, starting in about 2 or 3 minutes. So there's a little time left in between for you taking pictures if you want to. And you can stand next to me. I appreciate it. So if you want to do it. Oh, there she is.
Ah, close. Bummer.
Do you want to go now?
No.
你看有个人。
Even aid. That's why it was dangerous. A night watchman had to carry this kind of weapon. It's called a halberd. A halberd. It was for multiple use. And there were 6 of us, 6 night watchmen. Each had to guard his own district. Now it's just me left. I'm the only one who's still around, still doing it. Thank God. I had to get rid of the other farm to make a living. But that's long ago. I'm over it. Another duty night watchman had, that's why they got the horn, was to give a loud signal when there was a fire at night. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
Do you see any fire?
Yes, right there.
Yeah, this? Okay. Okay. Well, loud enough to make everybody wake up. Who was living close enough to where the signal was given. And all the people ran out of their houses trying to fight the fire as quick as possible. It was the biggest fear they had. Nothing worse could ever happen to a city in the Middle Ages but a fire at night. It was surely good to know somebody's out there, night watchman's on duty. His quick alarm could save people's lives, could save the city. That sounds like it was an important profession, doesn't it? Yeah. And it's true. It was an important profession, but it was considered a low profession, which is pretty unlogical after all what I've told you so far. But you know, people were superstitious in the old days. They feared the night, the darkness. They believed in all kinds of scary things going on at night. And that watchman was with all this. He was with the dark element. And that's why it was like rain. It was the only dry and safe place for people's storage of food, up high in the attic, because all the streets were wet and dirty. There were no cobblestones in the streets in the old days, but lots of other things. I mean, lots of all kinds of things. This was the only right place storing food. Every citizen, no matter if rich or poor, had to store grain for a year to last, for all the family. It was like a law, you know, it was controlled by city officials. It made a lot of sense doing this. They don't like that. They fixed them. And they are descendants of this patrician family, living there since more than 300 years, until today, as a noble family. Which is kind of amazing. And what you also see is the white gate. It's typical in all the big houses. It had to be so wide that a carriage could drive into the courtyard. Imagine a big courtyard behind a big house. People got a barn and a stable there. Animals and vegetables. A city in the old days was like a big village. Sure, it didn't look like one, but it smelled like one. And even worse, because there was a tannery and a skinnery in town. Come up from this direction. There's just a park and a cliff coming. Just going downhill. We'll see that pretty soon. Safest gate and the oldest ones from 1360. The gate in the tower, the whole thing. And there's something else. Once we get inside, in the first big door coming up is a small door cut into, working independent of the big one. And they call the small door a manhole. And they called it so because when the gatekeepers opened it, the hole was just big enough for one man to fit through. That's why manhole. Makes sense, doesn't it? It was in every city on every gate, always for the same use. It was for residents who made a certain kind of mistake. Guess which? Right, staying out too late. Coming home after curfew. Last chance for latecomers. It was too dangerous to open a big gate at night. Why should a whole city get bent down and get in head first? That's not a good situation for the one who gets in, but it was good for the guards. They were standing right and left inside like this, looking who's coming. If they made a mistake, they could easily correct it. It didn't kill the guy, but it really hurt. Well, have a look at it. There is the manhole. Now look over there. Isn't it a fantastic view? This is the southern end of Rothenburg. When you look above the wall, you can see we are on the edge of a cliff. It's going down 80 yards, right in front of us. We have this cliff on 3 sides around the city. There was no tree. It was a get up there. Only by one side there was a chance to get in. It's where the high wall is, with the rain. It's where you came in, by the way. Do you remember having seen the roof gallery on the wall? When you entered the city? It should have. And there all the people were standing, shooting down on all this enemy. Our main enemy were the neighbor city, the Bishop of Würzburg and the Duke of Nuremberg. They built a new house on the old foundation. And that year. And it has a strange name. Outside it's written in German language that this is hell. It's named hell. And also outside is a golden figure which is supposed to be the devil. See it? There's a devil and it's hell. But still a nice place. Because it's a pub and restaurant. And it's open late. So when you people walk around in our city street, and there's somebody showing up, you're not heavy enough for both bakers were punished. Well, once it happened, yeah, it was exciting. It was popular. People loved it. The baker was put in a cage. The whole instrument was next to St. George Well on a square. That's pretty deep. Deep enough for a baker to go. And all the people were standing around watching it. And the torture book was only one sentence how long it should take. There was written, dunk the baker as long as he can hold breath. Well, nobody had a clue. Not the judge, not the baker, there was no test, you know, it just happened. Sometimes it was getting really severe, you know. Sometimes it was a bit too long. The baker was dead. This was not the regular case. Normally they were still alive and they came out of the water and they were spitting water. It looked really horrible. People laughed about that. It was fun. They had a strange humor. But it was a rough time. We can't imagine what kind of things happened in those days. Really horrible. You wouldn't want to be there, I think. Neither me. Just for a day to watch. Tell you. But anyway. Yeah, there's one last thing about that. You know, bakers being in their bakeries at night, preparing loaves of bread for the next morning. Before they put them in the oven, they put them on a scale, the raw material, the loaf, to see the weight. And to be 100% sure, because you could never tell how much water is in it. They added always a little extra. Right to it. And that's why a baker's dozen is 13. It's coming from the old days when bakers were punished so severely. So they made a little extra. Not getting done, for sure. And, well, this is about that. There's another last story. It's about recent history, about times of World War II. I think
我那个本部不是有一栋房子，它这里就是前面就有一点类似这样子，应该是在我是因为有